Hello everybody and welcome to Live at 5 Tutorial Tuesday here at Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise Cox. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, and I want to thank all of you, whether you're watching it live with me right now or if you're watching the replay. I want to thank you so much for joining me here in my creative space and stamping along with me today. So I'll just give a few seconds here before we get to the stamping because I've got a really fun card to share. I'm just adjusting some things on my screen here in front of me. There we go. Okay, perfect. So thank you for joining me. As I mentioned, today we are going to be doing a fun fold card. I don't know what the name of it's called. I'm sure it exists out there somewhere, but last night when I was creating and coming up with something, I came up with this fun fold, and I don't know what it's called, but it's easy and it's neat and it's a unique type of a card to make. So we're going to use that. My feature product of the week, as you may know, every week I choose something from the Stampin' Up! Current catalogs that I feature on my blog all week long. And this week, the product I've chosen is the Happiness Abounds bundle. So that's this guy right here. Oop, there we go. With the Blossoming Happiness dies. It's all part of the Hues of Happiness suite, and I am falling in love with it every time I play with it. So when I first saw it in the catalog, I instantly loved the designer series paper because of the bright, bold colors, and all of that combination was amazing. But typically I'm not one who's drawn to flowers because I feel like there's just always flowers, and as much as I love flowers, I don't always gravitate to them when I'm doing my stamping. However, I resisted at first because I thought, no, I don't need a stamp set with flowers. But I'm so happy that I gave in, and I did end up purchasing them because let me tell you, they are so fun. They're beautiful. They're really enjoyable to color, as you'll see tonight. The paper is stunning, and the colors, like I said, the colors are just absolutely amazing. Of course, it doesn't help with me because there's a lot of pink, and I love pink, so that's always great. So for those of you who are watching, or if you're watching the replay, tell me what you're thinking of the Hues of Happiness bundle and product suite. You can find it in your annual catalog on page 109, and when I turn the camera down, we'll have a quick look at that. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are on it. Pinterest is blowing up with designs, beautiful, gorgeous cards that people have designed with this. So definitely have a look and check that out because it's one that you won't want to miss. Okay, so just a quick reminder, we are on, what day is it? August 16th, middle of August already, crazy. So celebration for Stampin' Up! Goes until August 31st. So if there's something on your list that you want, did you want to add to your and earn for free, then please remember to get your orders in before the end of August. So celebration goes till the 31st. Here in Canada, you get free product choices when you purchase $60, or some of them it's $120, but they've added an array of different products too. So that's amazing. Oh, Sharon and Coco, hello. Thank you for joining me. And Sharon, yes, so pretty, isn't it? I know, I love this suite. Okay, so don't forget about celebration. And some other really exciting news that happened this week in my life is that I have decided to take a leap, and I'm now doing my Bird's Nest Design stamping business 100%. So I'm no longer going to my other job. I'm doing this all day, which is so exciting. It's like a dream come true, and I am really excited to jump into this. So I am heading to New Orleans for backstage for Stampin' Up's leadership convention next week. But when I get back, I'm going to be raring to go with tons of exciting things to share with all of you. So stay tuned for that. Hello, Tina. Welcome. Okay, so that's all my news. Yeah, lots going on. Don't forget, if you're on my mail list, you would have seen that I'm doing the Nourish and Flourish Craft for a Cause event. Registration deadline is the 21st, and the event will be held when I get back from New Orleans on the 31st. So I hope that you can join in on that, and you can join from anywhere in Canada. If you want more information or you have any questions, just reach out, and I'm always happy to help. Okay, so let's get this camera flipped down to the desk and see what you guys are all here to see, and let's make some pretty stamping cards. Okay, let me just, where's my thing here? There we go. Okay, so here we are. We have the Happiness Abounds product bundle. So this is the Blossoming Happiness I showed you with the Happiness Abounds stamp set. And the flowers are super pretty, but so are the sentiments. And I love when they combine, you know, like a plain font with a nice script. It just always catches my eye. I think it's really, really awesome when they do that. So you can find this bundle or this suite on page 108 and 109 of the catalog. And this is the big annual catalog that you're looking at. So to buy the entire suite is $95.75. You get the bundle, so the stamp and the dies, you get the designer series paper, and you get these fabulous glossy dots that we're going to use tonight. So those are super fun products, and yeah, let's get going. So that's where you can find them. I'm just so excited to do this card. All right. So today's card is this one here, and this is the fun fold I was sharing with you. So it just opens in the center, just like that, with your sentiment in the middle. Okay, so to create that card, we're going to do that step by step here with you today. And I'm going to also post this on my blog for tomorrow, and it'll be uploaded to the YouTube, the replay of tonight's video. So you don't have to miss it, and all the measurements and everything will be there, so you can recreate this at your own convenience if you want to. So there's our card, like I said. Loving the melon mambo. So, and look at how gorgeous those flowers are. All right, let's get started. Okay, so my color combination for today is Daffodil Delight, so this nice bright yellow, Melon Mambo, and Granny Apple Green. Perfect, I love it. It's awesome for summer, and it coordinates beautifully with this paper. So I've got a card base here to start, and this measures 11 by 4 1/4. So I've just cut the cardstock in half lengthwise, and then I've scored it in the middle at 5 1/2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create this fun fold. And I'm just going to adjust my desk so I can get my paper trimmer here in the camera the best I can. Okay, so here's my paper trimmer. Oh, and I've got it upside down. It won't fly. Okay, so here we are. So what I'm going to do is, starting from the score line, that's where I'm going to start cutting. So I'm going to hold it over here to my 3/4 inch line on this side. Okay. And remember, the dark blade is the cutting blade, and the lighter one is the scoring. So I'm going to go right here is where the score line is. So on this side of the blade, it starts at 7. So I'm lining the line up to 7, and I'm just going to cut down the 3/4. Then I'm going to flip this like so. And I'm going to line it up again at the 3/4. Wrong one. Line this line up to the 7. Push it down and score that down. Then this part, hi Bobby, thank you for joining us. So I'm going to score that down here. Or sorry, not score it. I'm going to line it up on the score line with the cutting track. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll this up until the line on the side of your blade, there's a line here, till that lines up with the previously cut line, and then just a little bit more. You can kind of, what's going on here? Why isn't that working? Oh, because I didn't quite cut it enough the other way. So then we're going to do the same thing down here, cutting down to that line and then pulling it out. Okay, then we can set this aside somewhere. This desk space is not big enough here, you guys. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of do that. All right, so here is our new card base, okay? So then we're just going to fold that on the score line like we normally would, and then same thing. Keep losing video. Oh, I'm really sorry, you guys. I hope that this video isn't crappy for everybody. Strange. Okay, anyway, I'm going to continue on, and if the video is really bad for the replay, I'll just reshoot it and upload it. All right, so anyway, this is our card base. Then what I'm going to do is I've taken this gorgeous paper from the Hues of Happiness DSP, and it measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that is going to go on the inside of our card. So this is going to form the base of the card. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Bobby. So maybe it's just some connections. All right. So I'm adhering this beautiful floral paper. Ooh. It doesn't really matter which way it goes, but to me this way looks like it's right. So just however you want. Okay, so then when we fold it down, now we can see the flowers peeking out either end. Next thing we're going to do is attach a piece of melon mambo. No, we're not going to attach it. We're going to take the piece of melon mambo, getting ahead of myself, and just to reassure you what size this is. So it's 2.5 by 5.25. Okay, and then I'm going to take, so this is melon mambo paper, and I'm going to use the same color melon mambo ink pad. Right, then using this little flower here from the Happiness Abounds, which is this guy right here, so the one with a bit of a stem attached to it, we're just going to randomly stamp that onto this green. And I love the subtle, and I'm turning the stamp, so I want it to look nice and random. Okay, so I love the subtle look of color on color when you're stamping. So we'll just do that. Good enough. So that's done. Put this melon mambo away for the time being. Okay, so now let's attach. Now we can attach this onto the front of our card. Let me tell you, these flowers are going to wow you. They are so pretty. All right, so there is the base of our card, right? Then I have another piece here, or I should have another piece here. Where did my other piece go? Give me a momento. I'm just going to steal one out of another piece of cardstock here. I seem to have misplaced my white. We do need a white piece of, there it is. Sorry, was stuck in between my pile of supplies over here. Okay, so this piece here, we're going to cut down to 2.5 by 5.25. So same size, and I should have had this pre-cut. Same size as the melon mambo on the front of the card. And that's going to go right inside here. No, you know what? I want it to be, I'm going to take an extra 1/4 inch off because I want it to have some flowers all the way around it. So 2.5 by 5. That's what we want this to be. Because then when we place it in the center, we have a little bit of the floral on either end as well. So we're just going to attach that onto here. You're making sure when you do this that when you close your yellow flap, it's going to get covered, right? We don't want that peeking through. So there is that part of the card done. So let's just set this off to the side for a moment. I'm using the Scallop Contours dies. This is one of my very favorite go-to sets of dies because I love these scallop rectangles. And this one here is the third largest, or third smallest. So 1, 2, this guy here. Okay. And I've just cut it out on basic white. So now we'll do some stamping. I'm going to use Memento black because I am going to color with my stamping blends. So I'm going to stamp this, oh dear, this leaf image here. And it's going to go directly onto my scallop up here in the corner. And then just sort of eyeballing where it's going to land kind of right here. Okay, so those are going to be behind our flowers once we get them colored and die cut. So set that aside for a moment. And then on just a scrap piece of basic white, I'm going to stamp 2 more flowers. So I'm going to use this big gorgeous flower here. And we'll stamp that. I want it to be nice and crisp stamped image. Perfect. Okay, then we're going to stamp that same one that we were stamping in pink earlier. I'm just going to stamp that off. Okay, where did my cleaning cloth go? Well, we're just going to do it like this. we'll be careful. There we go, black on black. So I did get most of the pink off here, and I was just really careful not to push it too hard into my black ink pad, so it came out really nicely. So that's done, and then while we have the black out, I have gone ahead and die cut 2 of these leaves here in Granny Apple Green. These are from the Blossoming Happiness. They do coordinate with the stamp. I've got them pre-cut, and we're going to just stamp the coordinating image over top of them. Maybe that one's going to be a little off, but that's okay. Typically I'm a stamp and then die cut, but sometimes I like to switch it up, especially when I'm doing these videos and I don't want to do too much die cutting and shaking the screen for you guys. All right, so all of our stamping is done. Now what I want to do is die cut these images and then color them. I always try to remember to die cut first and then color, because heaven forbid if you go through and you do all that effort of coloring them so beautifully and then you run them through your die cutting machine and your die slips or something happens. We've all been there, I'm sure. That really sucks. So I'm going to die cut them first, and that way I can color them afterwards. So I'm just going to line up these images like so, and this one as well. And then you guys all know my little trick if you've watched before. So we're going to use Post-it notes, and we're just going to hold these in place. I'm actually going to put 2 because that die is quite large, and I don't see it's already spun on me. There we go. It doesn't. There we go, like that. I'll put this one down like that. So basically the sticky part is just on either side of the paper and over top of the die. And then this one. Same thing. And then we'll put our other plate on top. And then I'm using my little mini boss, as I like to term it, because stamp, cut, and emboss machine is quite a mouthful. So I've just renamed this. Its new nickname, it's this mini boss. Okay, so we've wheeled those through. Hopefully that didn't shake too much. And now we're going to hopefully have some beautifully cut, die cut flowers. 1 and 2. Perfect. Okay, so that is why we like to die cut first, because then, like I said, worst case, we would have had to stamp and recut them. But those worked out really well, so we're good to go. Now we get to do some fun coloring. So what I want to show you about the coloring tonight is using blends, and I'm going to use different colors. So I'm going to blend some Flirty Flamingo with some Melon Mambo. Hello, Sherry, welcome. And we're going to make a really nice shaded flower. But first, we're going to start by coloring these leaves here with Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to quickly outline one side of each of these leaves so that I can give it some shading. And I'm using the dark blends for this. Then I'll come in with my lighter Granny Apple Green and just sort of blend them together in a circular motion. Works best. And just sort of blend that dark into the white space and then fill it in with the dark, with the light marker. These blends are my favorite coloring tool for sure. Although the other day, if you may have caught it on my YouTube channel, I did do a video for the Hello Harvest Stamp of the Month Club, and I used my watercolor pencils, and I had a blast with them too. Coloring is one of my favorite parts of stamping. And I get so focused on my stamping blends that sometimes I forget about the other options we have. So there's our really pretty leaves, so put those off. Now we're going to color the flower. So we'll start with the big one, and I've got, like I mentioned, I've got Melon Mambo and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to start with my Melon Mambo dark, and I'm going to kind of highlight around this flower And again, remember, these are blends, so we're not too concerned within the image if we're staying in the lines. I mean, we don't want to color outside this way if we can help it, but within the image itself, if you get a little, you know, cross petals or whatever, it's not a big deal because we're blending it together anyway. So I'm just going to get some of this dark pink kind of all in here like so. So if you're watching, I'd love to know, have you ever mixed blends? Do you, you know, always stay so with the same color, or do you get creative and start throwing other colors in like we're gonna do here? It took me a long time, I will be honest. I was afraid to do it. I thought, oh no, I got to keep all the same colors together. But then I started seeing other creations and thinking, oh, this is super fun. Look at all the options just exploded in front of me because now I have all these different options and ways to combine these colors. Okay, so there's some pink. You can put as much or as little as you like, but I've just kind of gone accidentally. Yeah, I've done that too, Bobby. Okay, so we've got some dark pink on all of these petals. Now I'm going to come in and use my light melon mambo, because if you notice, my light melon mambo is still darker than my dark flamingo, and I'm basically going to make it into like a gradient up the petals. So blending some of that out like this, blending some of this one out. And each time I'm coloring, I'm taking some, pushing from the dark out towards the light, to the white space. Okay. Now you could do this, you know, if you didn't want to do pink, you could use, you know, Daffodil Delight with the So Saffron would be really pretty as well. As I imagine Bermuda Bay and Pool Party would be really pretty. So basically just starting with one color that's a bit darker, a bit bolder, and then working your way into a color that's similar shade but lighter. So there's our Melon Mambo. Now we'll go in with the dark Flirty Flamingo. And again, same idea, over top and out. So over top of both those colors. In some spaces you don't have a lot of room, and that's okay. One of the puppies is at the door trying to get in. He wants to come stamp with us. My suspicion is that it's Linus, but not entirely sure. All right, then we've got our light Flirty Flamingo to finish this off. So watch what I'm going to do here. I am really going to just kind of blend over the entire flower, catching all those white spots, pulling in from all the different colors. And it's just going to come out with this beautifully gradient pink. I was outside today watering my flowers, and sadly they don't look as beautiful as this. They're looking a little bit sun-soaked right now. So it's a little extra water today, some fertilizer tomorrow. Hopefully they'll come back nice and strong. All right, so there is our beautiful pink gradient flower. Isn't that fun? I love it. And then we can color the center in. On my original sample, I used Daffodil Delight, but I think a nice green will really pop and blend in with the leaves. So I've just colored that in with my light Granny Apple Green. So now we can do the same thing here, but what I'm going to do differently on this one is I'm not going to start with my dark Melon Mambo. I'm going to start with my light Melon Mambo. Because as I mentioned before, still lighter than the flirty, or darker, sorry, than the Flirty Flamingo. So we'll still get the same look, but it'll be a slightly different than that large flower we just did. So I'm just following some of the lines in the stamped image. Most of the lines, it looks like. Okay, so there we've got our dark Melon Mambo. Then we'll do our dark Flirty Flamingo. So just blending that all in. Oh, I'm just thinking out loud, but Fresh Freesia and Highland Heather would also be another really pretty purple combination that you could do gradient blending with. Okay, and now the final touch, just like before, we're going to use the light Flirty Flamingo. This time I'm pulling it from all sides because this one had it coming in from both directions, and it just gives such a pretty look. Voila, there's our gorgeous pink flower. And then to finish this one off, I'm just going to take my dark Granny Apple Green and just quickly color that stem. All right, let's assemble our card and put all this coloring efforts together. So I like things to be a little bit on the angle like that. So you could do it straight across. I like the look of this on an angle, so I'm going to do that. I'm just putting the adhesive in the center, you saw that, because I don't want it to go beyond our flap here. Okay, now with some Stampin' Dimensionals right here, ooh, we can use the large ones for the flowers for sure because they're big and they got lots of room on them. So this guy is going to go down here, and I really want to make sure that I'm covering up the end of this leaf, and it's working out really awesome because it's also covering that one at the same time. So that is a bonus, and that's a happy accident because that was, as you saw, was not planned. Then we're going to take this one here, and I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back. Okay, pull those guys off. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to tuck the stem in so it looks like it's growing up underneath this large flower. So the stem is going to be kind of hidden and tucked in there. Okay, so you see how that looks like it's all one image now. And then last thing, and this is probably going to be better with some mini dimensionals, or if you don't have minis, of course, you can always just cut the larger ones in half. I use so many dimensionals. I like to have both sizes always close by. Makes things easy. Okay, so I'm peeling off those backs, and then I'm going to stick one. I'm going to stick one right under here. And then the second one, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to stick this one in here. Now, the only thing I'm being careful of is that it's not exceeding my card, because I do want this to fit in an envelope, because I'm really excited to brighten somebody's day with these bright, beautiful cards with these fun florals. Okay, so the flowers are done. Now, the last thing I want to do is put some sentiments and some words on my card. So I've got just a little strip here of Daffodil Delight. And it looks like it measures about 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to use Best Wishes. And I like to use Best Wishes when I don't have something specific in mind, because Best Wishes could be used for so many different occasions, right? So for this one, we're just going to stamp Best Wishes. Yes, Bobby, you do need this set. It's so much fun to color, and the flowers are so pretty. I need my scissors, which are right here. If you guys could see my whole workspace right now, you would chuckle. It is such a disaster. I have this tiny little spot to do all this stamping in when I do my videos. Okay, live videos. My other ones I can do in the other room, but okay, so I'm just cutting that on an angle on both ends. You see how I've done that? And then I'm just going to freehand this here, cut the words apart. Then let's take some more Stampin' Dimensionals, these little mini guys. We'll put 2 on the back of the best. And then, so I'll just stick this one up here like that. I love when you can cut a sentiment apart because it just adds that many more options to it. So instead of having this long, you know, Best Wishes straight across, you can split it up and layer it up, and yeah. So best and then wishes. So my wishes isn't quite fitting how it did on my original card. So I'm going to just see if I can. I've just kind of taken that off for a minute. I'm going to put my wishes on first. So that can go there, and then we can put best over top of these leaves a little bit. See? Always room for improvement and embellishing. So there's never mistakes in stamping, just room for improvements and room for embellishments. So that's our card. Now, oh, before we do that, I do want to stamp something on the inside. So on the inside of this fun fold, on this little panel here that we created, I'm going to stamp wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. So again, it could be used for so many different occasions, right? Keeps it nice and open. And it's a great card to have on hand for, you know, when something just pops up. All right, now let's go. So if you saw what I did there, I did that relatively quickly, but I've just stamped the sentiment in there. Now we can use some of these glossy dots. I love how shiny they are and sparkly. And really, you could use whatever color you wanted, but I really like the way the yellow looked. So there's 3 different sizes of each color. So I'm going to use one of each size on my card tonight or today, and using my stamping or my take a pick tool to take them off. And then we got one medium one left here. Oh, it's not coming off. Stamp that up there. Oh. There we go. So there is our card that we've just created, and here is the card that the sample that I did last night. So as you can see, pretty similar. The coloring and shading is slightly different on each. One's got the yellow, one's got the green. Both look really great, I think. But yeah, just think of the colors. You could totally use exactly the same, the yellow with this paper, and you could draw in from the purple or more of the yellow. It's got so many different options in this paper, and stamp set is absolutely beautiful. So let me just find me back here again. There I am. Okay, hit the right button this time. So thank you everybody for watching. If you watched live, it was really fun to stamp with you. I love reading your comments, and hopefully the video came through for most of you okay. If not, please catch the replay. I will post it to my YouTube channel. If you're watching the replay, I love reading your comments after the fact too. So please say hello. Let me know what you think of the card tonight and what you think of these beautiful products. So again, it was the Hues of Happiness product suite. You can find it on page 108, 109 of the annual catalog, or of course you can find it on my online store too. So again, thanks so much for being here and stamping with me, and I'm excited to be heading to New Orleans next week, and excited to be getting back and getting into a routine of my new full-time Stampin' Up business, which I'm going to be super excited about. So thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing evening and an even better week. So until next time, happy stamping!